So we're continuing on this En500 Vulcan 500. I think also they sometimes go by En500. They're supposed limited edition. I'm not sure what's so different about the limited in this one. This one supposedly has a bad starter, and for sure we could see that the carburetor needs fixing or replacing, so or rebuilding, which is essentially what we're going to try to do. Now these bolts, depending on how old they are in some way going to differ in size. Now this one happens to be a 10 millimeter. That may have been what it came with originally. But this bolt for sure does not look factory. I think I've done a few of these with factory bolts. I mean, it should be a 10. I mean, this one is a 10. The seat should come off. That's where the hook's on here. I heard this battery wasn't good. I guess before removing the starter, we're gonna go ahead and crank it, because you never know. Battery, we don't have to remove that. Oh boy, look at this. Somebody put a hex in there. I'm not gonna bother giving you this the size of this Allen wrench, just because there's something standard about this this bolt being here. All right. Now, this one does actually seem factory. 8 millimeter here to remove the speedometer. Now, mind you, there's 3 bolts here, but only this one comes out. This one does not look standard. I think this is the one that goes back there. In order to remove the tank, you need to remove the speedometer. This comes out like so, right? Part here that hooks up in the front. This rubber, it's not the best. It's just hard to get a replacement for it. Let's go ahead and remove these 2 things. So these are the indicator lights here. Right, left, temperature, oil, and the speedometer. Now, if you notice, the speedometer is disconnected. The speedometer goes here. In terms of what controls the speedometer cable. So I see it's over here. It's just not connected. And it's missing the bolt. So, not the bolt, there's a screw that screws on the speedometer cable into this part of the speedometer that's missing. So we're gonna have to take that from another bike. Let's see if we just can undo these plugs with our hands, or we may have to get some pliers. All right. It's the safer way. It's always to get pliers, but yeah. So here is where it screws in, like the speed cable, right? The speedometer cable. If there's any gas in this, like in this tank, is the petcock, which is down here. That might not even be connected. Let's just see. Okay, there's one bolt that we forgot to remove. This one, I guess they chose also to put an Allen key in there. Let's go ahead and remove this. Here's actually where you add water. No, I don't think it's important. Did I give you the size of this Allen key? Because it's not standard. Meaning, there's usually a bolt here, like a metric bolt. You typically want to put this on off before you start doing anything. But this is, it's got no fuel in it, but for good practice, we'll go ahead and do it. So the arrow is the longer part of the latch here. It was so brittle, it just cracked right off. Okay, anyways. So there you go. Tank off. This bike doesn't have factory airbox to it. You'll see it once I take this off. But they have these little aftermarket filters that affects the jetting, which means it's not going to run smooth. It might run rich or run dry. We'll see. I mean, I may have a box out there from one of my other bikes. No. See what I'm talking about? This isn't a factory. And it typically affects how these carbs actually run. One trick without breaking these is to use a pry bar to get them off. I may just replace them. Let's see what we're working with here. Aftermarket ones for these bikes, but I haven't heard good things about them.